If you have been wanting to get into some series on K-manga but really don't know where to start, I hope today's video will be super helpful for you because I'm going to talk about some of my favorite reads on there. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. So very excited to be filming this video. I wanted to film it last week, but then I had all this stuff going on with antibiotics and finally was recovering, so I was like, I just want to take it easy and start cleaning my house. I want to say a huge shout to Patreon and channel members because they voted for this prompt today. Not only that though, I want to apologize because it was sort of a tie between this one and Delinquent Romances, and I'm going to film that at a later time. I'm not sure when yet, but eventually I promise it will come. But today we're going to talk about K-manga reads. I absolutely love K-manga. I'm so thankful how they have had so many different series added that we don't have physically in print, and then also series on there that we have physically in print that are getting picked up that I could try on there. It has just been so incredibly helpful, but I do feel like it can be really overwhelming when you know about these services, you know, K-manga, Manga Up, the Viz Media app, and you're like, well, I want to read on here, but I don't even know where to start. And yes, you know, like we could go scroll through what's on there, but I feel like it could be really overwhelming. I especially feel that way with Manga Up, though we're talking about K-manga today, so I thought it would be fun to give some recommendations on there. I told myself I should probably like branch out and do like different titles for different genres, or if you're looking for a certain trope, but I said, you know, I want to do my faves. So here we go. These are mainly minus one that I would say is a newer series I really enjoy, and I'll tell you why I wouldn't say it's like my top 5 favorite. Now I also want to mention Glass with Chance of Delinquent. I talk about all the time. I just talked about my manga news video of the latest chapter. I tried to stick with series, I think all of them, yeah, I stuck with series that we do not have a physical print of. These are digital only that are only available on Kmanga's app, just to like put that as a disclaimer or something. But let's go ahead, start off in no certain order with number 1. I am saying Tell Me Dear Butler. Oh my goodness, y'all, I read the latest chapter earlier today before filming this video, and it was just so incredibly good. It is about our female lead. She is a 3rd year, I think, in high school, and she has been in love with her butler, I think, since she was like 12 years old, and it's unrequited, at least that we know of. But then things start changing. I mean, she has professed her love to him all the time, to her butler, Hanayagi, I believe is his name, and she also is the daughter of a very, oh gosh, she is a very wealthy man, like extremely top 1% kind of wealthy, okay? And she has, I think, tried to convince her dad to let her marry her butler, but not much success is happening. But then on this particular day where the chapter opens up, she is telling her friend how she really wants to convince him to, or like to like her back basically. And her friend's like, well, hey, why don't you try making him jealous and go to this party that my friend is having? Because maybe if he knows that you're going to be there, you're going to talk to other people, aka guys, then maybe then he will feel something and make it known whether he likes her or not. And she thinks this is a great idea, so she goes, and nothing has worked so far in that even her telling her butler like, hey, I'm about to go, he shows no signs of jealousy. But then she goes to the party. She meets our second male lead, who is a very precious but very smart little being, okay? They get to know each other, and then the butler, Hanayagi, comes in and he says, hey, it is time to go. And she's like, that's not even my curfew yet, but they go. Here's the thing, I guess at the very, like in the first 3 pages, she tells him to stop cheating on me. Mind you, they're not even in a relationship, okay? Again, this is unrequited love here at the beginning, but she says that he's cheating because he gets a book from another servant within the household, and then near the end, this is all happening in the first chapter, by the way, near the end, when he goes to pick her up and everything, he tells her, if you wonder why I'm your butler and everything, then don't cheat on me, dummy. And I said, oh my goodness, y'all, I was sold. There are 10 chapters as of today, since a new one dropped yesterday before this video went live. I love it so much. It is just so, it's so good. I have a first impression here. It was sort of a review on volumes 1 and 2, but I tried to keep it on volume 1. I feel like this is such a really fun and exciting series so far. I think I really like it because of our female lead, of how she is just putting herself out there, and some of her inner ramblings are just so hilarious to me, because I mentioned in that video video of how when he tells her, because she did a good job on a test, or getting her grades up, excuse me, because she was #1 in her class to the bottom of her class, because she starts thinking and feeling, oh my goodness, my butler loves me too now after all these years, and she is just on cloud 9. She can't focus on anything else. And so when she gets her grades up, he's like, hey, I will give you a reward. And she has this long list, so long that the manga actually cut it in half or trimmed a large part of it so it would fit into the manga. And she has all of these ideas of how she wants to be with him, things that she wants to do with him, but yet even though she feels this way and really wants certain things to happen, she still has a really good head on her shoulders, and I feel like she's very purposeful and intentional with her actions when she realizes, okay, because there is a time, I think would roughly be in volume 2, where, even before that, excuse me, where she just keeps confessing her love, but then she has a moment in volume 2 where she's like, oh my goodness, have I been doing this? Is this how I've been making him feel because something is happening to her? And so I do like how she has this awareness that unfolds at different times. It can just really make certain moments so incredibly swoony, because almost all of the story is from our female lead's perspective. But then there's a few chapters where we see from the butler's perspective. Done. Sold. Oh man, he be offering insight into these situations where I'm like, oh my goodness, his face does not really give any clues as to how he feels unless he says something like he did at the beginning, like, don't cheat on me, dummy. But there's a chapter where we see this man's feelings, and then as things go on, I love it. Really fantastic writing. The art is so beautiful, so pretty, and the story itself is just deeply engaging. So I would highly recommend it if you're looking for, well, if you don't mind age gap, just as an FYI, but you're looking for something that's really funny, that has some swoon-worthy male lead, and really a great male lead, a second male lead as well. I really like him. I need him to back up, but he is great. Just keep trying, dude. Keep trying. I don't think you're gonna win, but the latest chapter at the end, what was that ending? What was that ending? I was like, oh my goodness. I went from squealing to wanting to yell no at my computer, like, this is not okay. This is not okay. I need the next chapter ASAP. So I guess, yeah, if you just want a modern day romance, don't mind the age gap, and you want that, I guess, different, I can't think of the word right now, and even in that video I blanked out the same thing, but they're different positions, and technically society would say, well, they can never be together, but it's like, whatever kind of thing. And I guess a little bit of underrequited love and exploring love for the first time. It's very fun, very sweet, would highly recommend it. For number 2 is another dessert series, and that is First Love, Worst Love. This is so good. This opened my eyes to how great second chance stories can be. It is about our female lead when the manga opens up. She is in college now, and she is like, I think about to have her like first day or something like that. And we get some kind of mini backstory or somewhere in there. We find out that she ends up moving far from home and goes to a different school that's not nearby because the guy that she had been dating, Yori-kun, he had basically ghosted her. They had been a really happy couple, and then she got into the high school he wanted to get into. Mind you, Yori-kun is a very, I'm hesitant to say prideful young man, like not in a bad way, but he is very prideful. He can be very full of himself, and these sound like bad qualities, but he does have some really great qualities, okay? But he's very full of himself, and he doesn't want anybody to beat him. But his girlfriend just did, getting into the high school that he wanted to do. So he ends up ghosting her, and for like several years, and that is where we're opening, where she is getting ready for college. I don't know if it's her first day, I just know that she's getting ready. And then she runs into her neighbor. And do you know who her neighbor is? Yes, her ex-boyfriend, Yori-kun. And the thing is Yori-kun's like, why did you block me? You need to be with me again. Are you dating anybody? All these things. And she's like, hey, I am done with you. Don't talk to me. But he's like, no, I still want to be with you. Despite that he was the one that ghosted her, okay? And so unfolds this second chance romance where Yori-kun in college is really trying to convince our female lead that he loves her and that he wants her to be with him. Originally when I started this, I didn't think I would like it, but the humor is hilarious. Yori-kun, everything I feel like described of him sounded so bad, but it's very interesting seeing a male lead have so much confidence in himself. It's like, where do you even get this from? And you can't help but laugh at his antics and his shenanigans. Like there's one point where there's a chapter, they all go out to hang out, like Yori-kun and the female lead and their friends, and they go and play basketball. And Yori-kun have played basketball in high school, middle school, both. And so he's really good. Well, one of their friends friends, tries to go against him one-on-one. It doesn't go well. So he's like, hey, come on, we're all gonna verse Yori-kun. Then it becomes a 3-on-1, and Yori-kun still won. And he was just so he just had, if I could find the panel, I will leave a screenshot here because his expression was just absolute gold. And it's moments like this that I really felt myself getting more and more invested. But the crazy thing is, like, it has all this great humor, but I feel like the recent chapters and this last one, also a new chapter dropped this week, really tugged at my heart, really hit me in the feels. And I feel like it starts off as a funny story and it does have that humor that continues, but the storytelling and the writing has really bloomed into this very thought-provoking story where we see our female lead, like, she really did love Yori-kun a lot. And now here she is as a college student, seeing him again, having old feelings, but also wondering, does she genuinely feel this way, or is it because of how she was in the past? And her having to more or less address these feelings in her heart and what she wants to do. And then on the flip side, we're also sometimes seeing things from Yori-kun's perspective. And while we felt he ghosted her for just being really rude and a selfish jerk, we'll see sometimes that things from his perspective really is eye-opening, and it wasn't quite as black and white as it appeared when we were looking through the situation through our heroine's eyes. I have been really blown away by that, and I just feel like I'm increasingly having my heartstrings pulled on. It's not a sad story. It does have those bittersweet feelings though, because with, again, her wrestling with her past feelings and her current feelings, it's been so good. Like, if this is what second chance romance is, hello, I am all here for it. I feel like the only really second chance manga I know of is Haru Ride, and I don't know, it feels different because maybe because it's in a high school setting and it does get pretty messy. I mean, I still absolutely love the series, but it does get messy, and I feel like First Love, Worst Love, there is a different layer to it. Yes, it is messy feeling-wise, but I don't know, there's some really fun moments between all of the friends, seeing them together, seeing Yori-kun's shenanigans, which really is a highlight of the manga. It's very, very enjoyable. It's another one I would definitely highly recommend, especially if you're like, okay, hook me with that humor and really cute art, and then give me some meat to the story where it's not just all fluff and feel-good vibes. Definitely, yes, I feel like First Love, Worst Love is that in a nutshell. I am desperately hoping, like with Dear Butler, that we do eventually get this physically in print. I think it would do really well, especially since there's just so little second chance romance. I feel like it could really hit a niche or hit some readers that want more of that, because I know that I do, and I really love these characters. It's been a joy to be on. Just, I really hope that the next few chapters, that it doesn't break my heart. It doesn't like leave me in my feelings where I'm like, man, this is a little bit sad. And I'm like, where's the next chapter? Where's the next chapter? For number 3, I can't remember if this is a dessert manga or not, but that's Kuroko and Her Sweet Villain, and I'm really excited because tomorrow we're actually doing a shoujo quiz on this, and I am just so stoked. This is a 2-volume series. It is completed. Again, I can't remember if it's in the dessert magazine or not, but I do know it's by the same creator of Virgin Love, which we do have in English by Kodansha. That's a 4-volume series, I think. I read this a while back, and I'm hoping my memory stays with me and I can describe it well. It's about a young heroine. Her name is actually not Kuroko, funny enough. That is the nickname she has been given, which I think means a stagehand, or like behind the scenes kind of stagehand. And she's a first year, and her biggest thing is she wants to help everybody she can to be that stagehand and make everybody else shine as the main character in their, more or less, their own life story. For her, it would just mean so much if by the time they graduate that these people are like, wow, she made my high school experience so incredible, so good. Like, that's all the words that she needs. And she is, from my perspective, honestly, it feels like she is running herself to the ground. She's got 3 different armbands on her arm, and I forget which club they all represent, but they definitely signify that she is having a lot of responsibility. And so when the male lead sees her, he really thinks she's being put up to this or set up to do these things. And when she tells him, no, I just want to do it, I want people to have a really great high school experience, and me aid and help in that behind the scenes, like, that's enough. He just feels that is outlandish. Like, he, maybe not like an outlandish rude way towards her, but like for how he is, he does not understand that at all. But he gets roped into her shenanigans and tries to encourage and help her rest because he is known as the sweet villain. And there's oftentimes, especially for like the chapter pages, where you can see like little horns in the shadow that are coming off of him because he is not afraid to step in, be the bad guy in situations. situations. For instance, he looked like the bad guy, but I think this other like student was being bullied and he stepped in, but he looked like the bad guy because of what he did to the bully kind of thing. And as they get to know each other, he tells her, I'm going to make you the main character of your story. And so begins this really sweet romantic series, though I would say it's more sweet than romantic because it doesn't, yes, it has romance, but I feel like that's not really the main focus. I truly did feel that it focuses on our female lead and truly helping her to shine, that she can see, yes, it's okay to want to help people and be involved in their life and help them shine, but she has every right to be a main character in her own story. And seeing her really gradually come to believe this and see her shine by the end was really beautiful. It was a very short read, only 8 chapters I think it was, and at first I was a little bit unsure because it's really easygoing. It's not like going to be like this super deep or intense read. I mean, the feelings are really real, but I was just sort of unsure at first, but I felt so encouraged and so seen, in the way that our male lead really helped her was just a very beautiful thing to get to the last final pages, the final chapter, and see like, yeah, she's doing stuff for herself as well, not just helping everybody else at the extent of all of her effort and energy. Like, that was a really beautiful, heartfelt, and impactful thing, and I was overjoyed when it won the poll for the Shoujo quiz, because I feel like this is a series that, or a short series, that could resonate with people who really do feel that they're just sort of a side character in someone else's show or story, when we are truly main characters in our stories, not just side character B or, you know, side character F. No. So it's a really, again, it's a really heartfelt kind of story. I'm not sure of all of what to say since it is, again, short and only 2 volumes. I don't want to like do massive spoilers, but I was very, very proud of her for all these small steps that she takes in really growing and starting to just shine because of her own happiness, of not necessarily because she helped anybody else, which isn't a bad thing, but just her having this new mindset of doing things that she wants to do for the sake of her own well-being. I would recommend it if you're looking for something short, something sweet and fluffy and feel good, but has really cute romantic themes along the way. And ultimately just seeing a heroine shine and come to be main characters in shoujo manga that I feel like majority of us really love and adore. For number 4, I'm so excited to feature this one. This is another comedy series, but sort of like I was gonna say a fantasy series, but not really. And as I fell into the situationship with the vampire count, I think this title is so great. I've never heard the term situationship, but here we are. Here we are. It's about our main heroine, Freya, and Freya is the daughter of, I don't know what her position is in society, but the thing is, she's engaged to this guy. I think his name is like Nathan, and Nathan is trash. Just as an FYI, okay, just to establish that. But the thing is Nathan's engaged to Freya, but then Freya one day walks in on Nathan and her sister. Yeah, so Freya wants to call off the engagement, but her parents are like, no, don't do that, keep it. And so she's really conflicted because if I remember right, Nathan is physically abusive. Like, he throws things at her and he may not leave bruises, but you do know that he is abusing her. And on the side, you got the sister doing her thing where she's trying to take Nathan from Freya and just really bad stuff, okay? That's just like, we want Freya to get out of this situation and find freedom. And so she takes her situation into her own hands because there is a rumor or a legend, more of a rumor than anything, that if you go to Count Bloodbury, I believe is his name, that if you go to the Count, he is a vampire and that he will accept any young woman who has virgin blood. And so Freya's like, okay, if I go to him, things should be okay. So she comes to him, and all the vampire lore, the vampire rumors are seeming 100% true. And she's really scared right now, but she's like, hey, I offer myself up to you, let me be your lover. And he's like, well, what do I get in return? She's like, you get my blood. That's when he just busts out laughing and he reveals a secret to her that truly transforms the whole story of things going forward when it comes to Freya's life, because when she meets the Count and she decides to participate in these antics, her life gets so much better. I really enjoyed this story, though I do want to say, if you're not not a fan of even one bedroom scene or any bedroom scenes where nothing is necessarily shown. This is a PG-13 manga, I would say, but you do see an intimate bedroom scene. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, and there were many times I felt embarrassed reading, I'm not gonna lie, but I really, really love these characters. Seeing Freya really get out of a horrible house life or house situation was everything, especially in the sense when her and the Count decide, well, we're gonna make you be a vampire, and have others around us think, well, man, she's fallen under his spell kind of thing, and they have really all of these super funny shenanigans where the only thing the Count wants is to make himself laugh and make others laugh around him. Granted, the people that are not like part of his household and Freya, they don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but everybody else is sort of horrified, and it's like just encouraging the vampire rumors. I really enjoyed seeing how creative they could be to convince everybody that Freya has now turned into a vampire. And for several volumes, probably, it really focuses on this vampire fun that is happening. We see our leads falling in love, and it was so great. It was so great. But then these like past several chapters, things have really taken a dangerous turn. I'm like, this is a little bit scary because you have some people in the high society who are not happy that Freya seems happy and with the Count now. And they don't really care if the rumors are true that she has become a vampire. They're like, whatever, I just want Freya for myself. So I did enjoy, or I have been enjoying, having that really fun, cute, fluffy vibes for a large part of this series, and then occasionally getting a little bit heated, you know, I wouldn't say spicy, but there's a little bit of steam. To getting this danger has been like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I need things to go back to them just having these cute, fluffy, really fun moments that I've really enjoyed, and I truly enjoy too. I think somebody has mentioned, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm one to, I mean, First Love, Worst Love has some really great, where the characters wear really fun clothing, but I really do like how the maid that is in charge of getting Freya dressed, of how, man, she is just so fashionable. Like, she can make a Freya look like a fashionette. I've really enjoyed seeing the different clothes that they have worn, and that there was one chapter specifically where they just play dress up, and I'm like, thank you. Thank you. I really enjoyed seeing that a lot. That was really great. And I almost said a spoiler, and I wish I could say more, but I would say that this is a great series if you're looking for comedy once again, and you want a little bit of paranormal vibes. It's not really a paranormal series. It's a lot of humor that's woven in with that. Seeing a female lead situation change for the better, but also I would say a long-lasting couple where you want to see things go past when they're first dating. If you want to see that and you want to see investment into that relationship, yes, that is one thing I've really have enjoyed about this series, is I'm like, we are getting pretty far into this relationship, and I'm like, please, let's keep taking it further. I don't think it has any signs of ending. I do feel like the last arc that we've been in is wrapping up, and so I'm like, what are we gonna do next? What are we gonna do next? I'm like, we had some cosplaying that was happening and disguising as other people, so I'm like, we need to bring back that humor because it is very much the strongest and the funnest part of this series, hands down. And last but not least, this is one I really, really, really love. I have enjoyed so much of it, but I really don't like how it's broken into 4 pieces of one chapter. That has hurt my enjoyment a little bit, but man, playing the vixen to find happiness, this is so much fun. I don't even know who I'd recommend this to because it's sort of, I feel like it's a little bit unhinged when you hear the premise. So we have our female lead. She has a sister. I believe her name is Lynette, the female lead. She is the younger sister though, and she finds out that when her older sister gets a notice, a letter saying, hey, you're going to marry this certain man. He's like one of these really high-ranking knights that has protected the country, so even though he doesn't have like a super high position in royalty, he's still somebody very important. But he also has really horrible rumors surrounding him, that he is like a monster, that he's really mean, that he's a playboy, all of these things. Well, when her sister finds out about this, she takes her dowry and she runs for it. yeah, she just straight up runs. So her parents are like, well, now, you know, we don't want to break off this engagement that is happening, so we're gonna have you, our female lead, disguise and pretend to be your sister, who was very much a vixen, and she was very popular among the men, had a lot of experience. She dressed very flashy, putting a lot of skin out there and whatnot, while our female lead is a very cute, shy young woman who just likes to stay at home and read and loves reading about military things, okay? Very, very different from her sister. But she's determined to do this for her family and to help them because she doesn't want anything bad to happen to them. And so on her way, she goes to meet the male lead. I can't think of his name right now, but she goes to meet him. Okay, so the thing is he may have these rumors that he's a playboy and all of these things. He's not. He has no experience in love. He gets very embarrassed and he's over here trying to be one way with our female lead. She's trying to be one way around him, and both of them are ultimately hiding their real personalities and ultimately failing at it. And that is just where the humor comes into play, because our female lead is like, well, if I can just be a vixen and convince him that I'm the one and he needs to marry me for the sake of my family, things will be fine. But there is something that happens on her way going to her new home where she's going to be living with him, where he meets the real her, and he's really drawn to her. And the thing is when he meets her like what's supposed to be the first time, like officially, he can't figure out why she's acting the way she is when he's like, I liked her the way she was before. Her maid and the female leader like, oh, I just didn't have my makeup on yet and I wasn't ready, so that's why I looked so weird before. And so both of them are like, well, I'm just gonna roll with these rumors of being a playboy, being a vixen, even though that's like, again, so far from their real personalities, like to the point. One of my favorite things I remember reading about the male lead was the rumors that are spreading, and one of them was like, if you even hear his voice, you get pregnant. And I'm like, what is this rumor? Why are people believing this? It's very amusing to see these two sweet main characters determined to be something they're not. And it's just like, y'all, can we take off the mask? Can we take off the flashiness and the rumors and just be your precious little self? Because they're so drawn to the real selves of the other person. But our vixen here is determined. Like, she bring all the things to be the best vixen that she can be. And then she says these really sweet things that seem out of character for a vixen, but she's really genuine, because I think where I stopped is they're gonna have their first wedding day together, or wedding night together. Obviously, she's really nervous. He's really nervous, but he's acting like he's not. He's coming in shirtless. If I remember right, he goes to make moves on her and she's shaking because she's scared. And so he stops because he doesn't want to make things worse or anything like that. And he was terrified out of his mind, by the way. She don't see it, but us, the reader, in his mind, he is freaked out himself. So he stops doing anything. He backs off and she's like, you know, it's just because you're really kind and a really sweet man. And he is just so touched by her words. But they're both wondering like, well, what do we do now? When are we gonna have this real first night kind of thing? And it's just like, y'all, if only they could just, again, be their really sweet selves. So I think it was up to like chapter 4. So I'm really early on, but I really did enjoy what I read. I laughed a bunch and it was a great time. So I guess for where I'm at in the series, I would recommend this to somebody who's looking for something humorous, to someone who really enjoys seeing them present themselves one way and failing so bad at it. But to add to that, to have both of the leads, doing it. And I think it's going to have some political stuff that happens, because part of what's happening is our male lead, he keeps thinking that the queen is the one sending these vixens to him because I don't think he has any rights to the throne, but there's something that's happening there with that, a position of power that the queen doesn't want him to have. So she has sent these other women to go after him and try and seduce him, and it's failing like super bad. But that's where he's questioning the female lead's motives, because he's like, she seems really sweet and genuine. He finds her so cute, like her real self. But he's like, wonder if this is all just a plot or a ploy to get me to fall into the clutches of the queen. And it's like, no, it's not. It's not. I really, really look forward to seeing what exactly unfolds. And if I remember right, I do think this is by the same light novelist as The Emperor's Caretaker. I would say they're very different series though, but I do think they're the same light light novelist. I know they're two different artists, but that was because I think I follow like the light novelist on Twitter, and that's how I came across this series, or had seen that I had followed the creator and I knew about it when kmanga put it on their website. But yeah, those are my 5 recommendations I have for you, friends. I felt like I yapped a whole bunch, but I hope I was convincing to try out one of these series. I would love to know though, are any of these your favorite series that you read on kmanga, and what are some recommendations that you would give to me or to anybody who's wanting to try something out on there? I would love to know. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!